What's that? Oh, there you go. We didn't say that though. Let's see if it comes up. Let's see if he'll let us on today. Well, it looks like he's letting us on today, which is perfect. Thank you, Zuckerberg.
Where's the camera?
Camera's right up there. Yeah, you can see yourself right in the monitor. We're going to record this for posterity. All right, everybody, settle down. Hey, settle down out there. You know what today is, right? No, it's ThirstDay. You're wrong. It's ThirstDay. And I have two very special guests for ThirstDay. And I'm going to get the less modest one out of the way. Joining me on the dais tonight is the grape one himself. El Ray is here with us tonight. Thank you, El. And actually, in the true guy that we're all here for, Rich Hartenberger is here tonight with us, winemaker and owner of Midnight Cellars, which is a very popular wine here at Julio's. And we got a great tasting for you guys tonight. We hope you enjoy it, and hopefully we may have some news at the end that I think you guys may like, maybe not, but you'll be having too much wine, so you really won't care. So
I'm pregnant.
What's that?
I'm pregnant.
Okay. I give the man a mic, and here we are. All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, we do a segment called 3 Men in a Bottle.
Oh boy.
You can maybe join us on that one.
I'm in.
All right. We need Chardonnay. Just so you know, we need Chardonnay. Oh, they haven't poured it yet? Oh, when are we going to do that? Isn't that the first wine?
Sure is.
Sure is. All right. While they're doing all of that stuff, let's
Very light.
It's very light and airy.
Airy.
Is it airy? Before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about Midnight Cellars, how it came about, why you're there, why you're the winemaker.
I don't know.
And I know. We're just filling time until we get more wine. Don't tell anybody. But really, Midnight Cellars. So, how many generations are you at Midnight Cellars?
Oh, I started the business with my dad and
Yeah.
my mom back in 1995.
Okay.
So we were the 29th winery in Paso Robles back then. There's 350 wineries now. So we've been part of a giant sea change of the wine culture in Paso. Unfortunately, what that means for me is that I'm now not young and cool and hot.
You're not one of those hip guys?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just like one of this old fart that still is there. And they're like, oh, you're still in business kind of a thing. Cause I suck at marketing, and well, there's a lot of other reasons. So we started 30 years ago. We bought a piece of dirt on the west side of Paso. It used to be 150 acres out there. We planted 30 with the Chardonnay, which is what we're starting with.
Okay.
Malbec, Cab, Merlot, Zin, all estate. And then the Mare Nectaris has a little bit of Cab Franc blended with that.
I mean, I know we're going to get to it. We can talk a little bit about it when we get there, but even that far back, throwing Malbec into the mix was not exactly mainstream.
It was not, but we wanted to make the Mare Nectaris so it had all 5 of the Bordeaux blenders.
Right.
So we planted 2 acres and we purchased it from Castoro Winery way back in the day. So we started making Mare in 1997 was my first vintage of that. And by the way, it's still drinking pretty cool. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ray was telling me about that.
Yeah.
He's had some of that.
Yeah, Ray came out to see us.
Yeah.
If you're ever out,
If he remembers.
I do remember. I do.
He remembers the beginning of the night.
Yeah.
It's the end of the night that's a little difficult.
It was a big night for all of us.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
All right, so we finally we do have our Chardonnay, and I think everybody's getting poured Chardonnay right now, right? Am I correct on this? We'll wait a little bit longer. We'll make sure that everybody has it. But it has the landscape of wine growing and wine making in California has changed so dramatically since when you first started.
Yeah, just amazing. And
Right?
and Paso in particular. I mean, Napa was always Napa.
Right.
And Sonoma is always Sonoma.
Yeah.
And they're great. Not.
Yeah, I know he said that. I'm sorry, Napa. Okay, sorry.
But yeah, Paso, when we started back 30 years ago. This will be our 30th anniversary. I know you were saying you
We're
guys are
hitting
turning
50 this year. Yeah, we're hitting
year.
50
Cool.
this year, which is cool.
So 30 years ago, I was a much younger man.
Yeah.
I wasn't as bitter as I am now. But
You know what? Your winemaking got better though. I will give you
30
that.
years of farming will do it to you.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a cow town, and it was just starting a burgeoning wine area. Everyone knew the potential was there.
Right.
It just, we hadn't been realized yet. So when I actually take complete credit for the
You should as well. You should. Yeah.
Paso, because
Yeah.
there's no one else is here
Well,
to
you
tell
know,
me
but
that.
no one is there to refute you, right?
Right.
No one here is, but that is part of the thing is that up and coming wine areas really took because I know we were bringing in stuff from Paso Robles almost immediately.
Yep.
Because of we saw potential in that area here, and it represented a really good value, especially at the beginning.
Yep.
It's like you get in on this type of stuff before it ends up in like, I don't know, like Wine Spectator.
Right.
You got to be in this. You know, it's the same thing. We see the same thing over and over and over again, even with just wines. Ray and Eric and stuff will recommend wines to people, and they're like, yeah, okay. And my thing is always like, so if you don't like it, you know the guy you can yell at
Right.
is Ray,
Yep.
because Ray gets yelled at all the time. But you know the guy you can yell at.
Right.
But yet, as soon as it hits a publication, now everybody wants it. So you're going to take the word of somebody you have no affiliation with, don't
Right.
know,
Yep.
and barely know what his palate's like or the person's palate's like,
Yep.
and not taking somebody that you can know and trust that's working to get you wine that you like. And this
100%.
is why the independent shop, I think you got some over here. This is why the independent shop with actual real wine experts is sort of a necessity.
100%.
Because other than that, you're going to be stuck with mass produced, what we call supermarket brands,
Yep.
right? Turn them out, get them out the door. How many cases can we move this month?
Millions of cases.
Millions
a
of
year,
cases,
too.
right,
It's
right.
a different, the whole winemaking process is different when you do it on, I make 8,000 cases for Midnight each year. Those guys are they throw 8,000 cases worth of wine down the drain during a harvest. So they're making millions and millions of cases. The way we make wine is a lot different. We hand pick everything because machine harvesting, I'll get into that later. Where's Heather?
She ran. Heather ran.
Machine harvesting is a disgusting way of making wine and processing ag. It's all inclusive.
Right.
So you get
Everything.
You get animal parts, and you get poop, and you get vineyard pieces, and you get huge, and it all you don't get any of it out. You just push it right into a giant 1,000,000-gallon tank, ferment it in 3 days,
Yeah.
press it, and ship it out to your factories for bottling.
Nice. You paint such a beautiful picture of that I just want to go out right now and buy some bulk wine because I know that's the way it's done.
Yeah. Well, that's every brand that makes that kind of quantity. That's how you have to do it.
You have to. There's a necessity behind.
So while they're processing 5,000 tons a day, we do 25.
Yeah.
We 2-table sort all the wines that we make, which is a excruciatingly pain in the ass, just a shit show.
Hence why you're bitter.
But during that process, when you're sorting, you're taking out all kinds of things that don't belong there.
Right.
Overripe berries, underripe berries, the poo comes out at that point. A lot of the bugs, a lot of spiders and earwigs and all that all comes out when we're sorting and doing that. All that other stuff for the big boys just goes right on in.
If you do enough of it, it adds more juice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
All right, let's start. Everybody has their Chardonnay, correct? We have I should point out, we have a lot of people here to see you today.
There are a lot of
and-
old
and
faces in the crowd. I really appreciate it.
Congratulations. Thank you. They're
really
they're
appreciate
not
it.
really here for you. They're here for like wine. Free wine.
I know. I get it.
You understand that.
I understand.
As long as you keep them going.
If there's no wine here, they're not here either.
Shut that lady off.
The first spill of the night. Not bad.
All right.
That's right.
All right. So tell me about the Chardonnay as we're drinking it.
So this is an estate wine, meaning that I grew it on my home vineyard. We
Mhm.
harvested it. We brought it over directly to the winery. We processed it. We whole cluster pressed it, barrel fermented it. And it stayed in the winery facility for its entire aging life.
Okay.
Until it
This
was
is
bottled.
homegrown.
This is homegrown, 100% Chardonnay. I was taught how to make wine by some pretty traditional guys.
Okay.
So we pick everything by hand. We don't sort the whites because we're trying to get the juice off the skins as fast as we can.
Right.
Everything's done in French oak. Everything is barrel fermented, and we do just a little bit of new oak.
Okay.
We do about 20% new oak instead of 100%. We do about 20% malolactic.
I was going to ask you if there's some malolactic in this.
Just about
little bit.
20% versus 100. If you do 100% new oak and 100% mallow, that's your oaky buttery.
Right.
And there are some wonderful wines made in that way, just not in Paso Robles, in my humble opinion. So white wines in Paso just have to be crisp and fun and clean.
But that's the whole point, though. You do that much and they become oaky, buttery, sort of overbearing Chardonnays.
Right.
To the point where they're no longer really food wines. They become, you can drink them on their own, but they start messing, like if you're eating something, it starts messing with the flavors because they're just overly bearing.
There's only so much of that you can drink.
And because it came to the point where a lot of people were doing so much of that, it became the ABC, anything but Chardonnay.
Right.
Because it became sort of that everybody was doing it that way. And it became, and Ray knows this, I started looking at Europe for Chardonnays because I want stainless. I want other things rather than buttery, oaky.
Right.
Because I'm looking for
Chardonnay.
food. I'm looking for food. I'm
Right.
looking for a food wine.
Definitely
And this
should taste like
this
it.
is a nice what I like about this is actually a really nice balance. You do get some of that by doing the process you're doing. You do get some of that. You keep the crispness of it, but you do get some like deeper, richer flavors of that. A little bit of butter.
For sure.
Yep. I can't believe it's not butter.
Right.
Sort of,
More of a roundness, and
Roundness,
it
yeah.
softens the acidity
Yeah.
a little bit. And our vineyard produces some pretty acidic fruit. So it's much better if you soften that acidity just a little bit.
We talk about this a lot in whiskey, is that there's certain ones that you buy, especially whiskey, there's certain ones that you buy and you don't really go back to them. They're usually the big over the top things. You get like a lot of peat, or it's got this in it, and it's like that over the top flavors. But the ones you usually find you go back to again and again and again are the ones that are actually balanced.
Right.
Because they're meant to be drunk for a longevity. There's something there. They taste great.
Right.
They're versatile.
100%.
And that's what your Chardonnay is.
That's what I try.
You did a good job.
You swing a lot and you hit
Yeah.
something. and
Yeah,
every so
no,
often
but this is really good. I like this. Ray loves this one.
I do. I like the fact that the acidity is there.
Right.
And you're right about buttery and oaky. It's too
flabby.
too flabby. And I will say this: there is a place for a buttery Chardonnay. I think if a lobster with drawn butter would work great with that.
Is that coming out? Is there someone behind that curtain that can
Yes,
bring
it's
us
coming out,
that shit out?
And just for your thing,
That would be awesome.
the crustaceans. No, they missed their bus.
Oh,
So.
that's too bad.
So, Rich, you mentioned French oak.
Yep.
Any consideration for ever using just so-called neutral oak?
I use mostly neutral oak.
Okay.
Though when I say 20% new oak, that's 20% brand new barrels.
Okay.
Then we use 1,
Mhm.
2, 3-year-old barrels, and
Mhm.
then the rest is all neutral. So we use the neutral to balance out the new. So probably all of our wines, on average, across 22 wines I make, half of the aging is done in neutral barrels.
It's to give you're using that new oak to give it a certain flavor component.
Just basically vanilla and
Yeah.
a slight addition to the tannin profile.
And we talk about this all the time. It's salt on the steak, not the steak.
That's exactly right.
It's enhancing the other flavors that are occurring in your wine.
Well put.
Yeah.
Oak should be something that you say, what a nice little touch of oak this guy put in there. Not, wow, this guy can afford really
This is like a
expensive
2
French
by
oak barrels.
it's a 2x4 across my
Right,
face, right?
right.
It's all wood.
Tommy boy.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right there you go.
It's right.
I love it when you get the reference. It's good.
It's right.
It's right there. Right
It's
there.
not here.
Yeah, it's right there.
There.
It's right across the face.
I don't see anything.
All right. So Now, has everybody got white wine out of their system? Because that's the only one you're getting tonight.
Yeah. We do make other whites.
Right, I know.
Just we're trying to focus on Paso Robles is more of a red wine region. As
Right.
everyone that's ever been there knows. But you can grow some pretty good white wines out there.
All right. So the next wine that we have is the Midnight Cellar Solstice, the Malbec. And this one, I like Malbec. My dad's in the audience tonight. He's freaking out because he's a Malbec freak. Loves Malbec. Loves Malbec. Especially I took him to South America
Nice.
and he got to try a lot of Malbecs there and he sort of fell in love with the grape.
Yep.
It's like supercharged Merlot.
Yep.
You know, that's not
I agree completely. I have been bitten by that bug as well. Like I said, my first Malbec I made was 1997. First one I bottled as a varietal was probably 2010. I use it a lot in blending. It
Yeah.
blends well. It plays well with others.
right.
You'll find it in my Syrah. You'll find it in the Mare Nectaris, and a lot of other places that I'm not going to talk about.
That's not a personal.
It's proprietary.
Okay. We won't bother then. All right, moving right along. What do you guys think of this? By the way, I forgot to ask you, what do you think of the Chardonnay before I move on? Case for you, sir? Yep. Another case for you over there, ma'am. Got it. No.
Nice, nicely done.
Nicely done, right?
I see what you did there.
Yeah. They're not going to get out of here with us buying some wine here.
Sneak it in their purse.
Yep. Whatever we got to do.
Nice.
All right. So Malbec, great nose on that one.
Yes.
Too.
Yep.
It's got that.
Well, Paso Malbec is different than your South American stuff, in the fact that it's going to be much more fruit driven.
Yeah.
Fruit forward, jammy blueberries and fresh raspberries.
I get the raspberry on this one a lot.
And a lot of the South American stuff will have more earth, which I love. I just love the grape itself, and you can.
Well, it's gonna adapt to the environment it's in too, right?
Right.
So this is why you're getting some of those flavors that you're not going to get from South America up to here because it's just a different, totally different climate.
Totally climate,
Growing
oils,
season,
yep,
everything.
everything. So this one's super approachable. It doesn't have a lot of tannin. You don't have to age it, but it'll age for several years more. It's just a fun, approachable, yummy wine.
I think that's the perfect description. Yummy.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a scientific term.
Yeah,
I don't mean to show how smart I am to everyone.
Don't go throwing that around.
I am super smart.
But it's a flavor note. It's called yummy. Maybe you guys maybe not have heard of it.
Or
yummers.
yummers.
Yummers is another one.
That's another one.
All right. He came up with. He spent a lot of time in school, or
how do you know how long
I think you meant to say, sir, a lot of time ditching school to come up with that one.
It's like 5 years in that institute.
That's right.
And a summer.
That's a 4-year college.
I'm aware.
A lot of people go to college for 8 years. Yeah, they're called doctors.
Yeah, that's right.
They're called doctors, Rich.
Animal House.
I like this one. I like the finish on this. It's not overly long, but it's long enough, and the finish really sort of grabs you on this one a lot.
Yep.
I like this one too.
Backyard barbecue.
Yeah.
Pasta.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It just it sings with it. It really does.
I've been doing like sort of like wood barbecue. That my friend makes a thing that I don't have to have a gas. I can have a gas grill and use wood.
Right.
So I've been doing a lot of that, and I've been doing like steaks and stuff. And this is like some of the stuff that I love having with it.
Yeah.
Especially or burgers and stuff like that. This is like prime time.
Okay.
Pepper, spice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kills with it.
What do you think? It doesn't matter what we say. It all depends on if you guys like it or not. Very nice.
And quite honestly,
she's not
if you
talking
don't
about
like
you,
it,
Rich.
don't tell me.
Yeah.
Because nothing pisses me off more.
And silence is golden. If you don't like it, just walk out.
Just be nice about it. I cry so easily that I don't want to embarrass myself.
Too late.
Too late. Yeah.
Too late. The sample wasn't big enough. I have to have another.
That's my guy right there.
I've never heard that before, sir. That's never been uttered in here. There's a hole in my glass. There's another one. Let's get them all done. There's
right
a hole
here.
in my glass.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's right on the top, and it leaked out. Huh? It evaporated in my mouth. Is also another good one. All right, but these are fantastic one. I like this one a lot. This
I
is
know, thank you.
this is what we call a bargain banger too. This is you're punching way above the price point on
I
what
hope so.
think.
Well, we try. One
Yeah.
of my dad's things when we started this business was he didn't want people just to be able to afford this wine or Midnight Cellars wine once a year at a special occasion.
Right.
He wanted to be able to drink it. Well, I won't say every day because not everyone drinks every day like I do. But
750 is a single serve, sir.
but
You can't convince me me otherwise.
it's just one glass.
It's one glass.
Yeah.
It's actually the only glass that's approved by the winery to drink out of.
Right. Well, we actually sell glasses that hold the entire bottle in one glass. So
See,
I've got a lot of bases
he's so
covered.
classy
It's a good chugging
He's walking around like
wine.
this. with a straw.
Ryan,
Straws.
Ryan, he forgets I was with him for a couple of days.
Yeah,
So,
you know exactly
I
what's
know.
going on.
I know.
Yeah.
A lot of people here have spent multiple days with me.
And there's some people here that have traveled out to see you, which is great.
Yeah,
I mean,
several.
Okay, so I'm going to
And
point
they're
this.
still here tonight, so I didn't piss everybody
Yes.
off.
No, but here's a good thing to point out. Actually, you guys do host a lot of visitors for a basically, and I don't mean this disrespectful, but a mom and pop
This
winery.
is definitely going to be disrespectful.
No, it's not.
Whenever
It's
you
like
say
a mom and
that.
pop. It's not like you don't have like a big visitor center.
So Ray, how you doing?
I'm
Yes.
doing fine. How are you?
No, what I'm getting at is you don't have like a big visitor center with buses
We do
pull
not.
in and and everybody does the dime store the dime tour of and everything ends up the gift shop.
Right.
All right. You have a small gift shop that everything ends up in.
We do.
But it's not like a big place. And what amazes me is how many people that I've talked to that have actually been out to see you.
It's
I don't know if Heather's busting them out there or what's going on, but a lot of
well,
people
she did. A lot
Yeah,
of people Heather did
exactly.
bring out. So yeah.
But I mean, a lot of people come and visit you, and it's not because you have the facilities to host a lot of people,
Correct.
And sort of run people through the mill and tasting your wine and getting them out.
100%. It's a lot of people forget in this world of ours that this is wine. This is not meant to be taken overly seriously.
You couldn't tell. I don't know if they could tell right now.
I can personally tell you that if you drink more wine than anyone you know, it does not make you smarter. Like, no kidding. This is fun. This is a lifestyle. This is supposed to be casual.
Right.
So that's
There's no pretense.
and I'm not smart enough to be like super snubby and wherever that word is, snuffy or
Yep.
whatever the hell it is. My
He's using
vocabulary is not
He's
so
using
good
the big
either.
words again. Everybody back up. He's using a big word.
I'm just saying it's this. If you don't get that wine's fun, don't bother coming. to
We-
see
we
me.
lost. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So the one we're trying, just so everybody knows, it's called Solstice, and that's the Malbec, and it's 100%.
It's
Age-
100%.
and This is what amazed me because Ray and I were talking about this earlier. Age 30 months, and that's a long time to age something before you get it to market.
It is, and one thing that was tough to get my my father to understand when we started this business, you can't be in a hurry.
Right.
We're a no-name brand. I mean, we're popular here in this store.
That's it.
Basically, nowhere
Okay,
else
so-
on earth.
Yeah.
So the wines, it's better if the wines are closer to being ready to consume by the time we release them. So we're not sitting in our tasting room or sitting at a tasting like this saying, you just wait in 8 years.
Yeah.
This is going to be a badass.
When your
wine."
grandchildren are coming around,
Right.
this is going to be so good for them.
So we try to give them a little extra time. I think it's very important as well. So that's what we do. We just give them a little extra time in
Okay.
barrel. I've got plenty of wine. I don't run out of wine. So if it's properly aged, it just makes it easier to sell and drink. And I drink more of it than, well, anyone. Maybe the
fact
top
that it-
10 people,
The
actually.
fact, how many cases a year? The fact that any of it makes it out of the wine.
Kind of amazing, isn't
Kind
it?
of amazing.
Kind of
I mean, all right. So the next one we're going to do is the 2020 Midnight Cellars Nebula, which is a Cabernet Sauvignon, but it's a blend, right?
It is.
So 90%, wait a minute. Yeah, 90% Cab, 10 Merlot. And again, age 30 months and 30% of this new French oak.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is kind of one
Number
of our,
3, if we're, by the way, since we're all doing this right, we started with the Chardonnay and we're going left to right, like you read, well, most of you anyways, read left to right. So we're on the third one now.
third wine.
Third wine.
So this one?
The other way.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
So Cabernet Sauvignon was my dad's favorite grape. So we have 8.5 acres planted on the home ranch. It is one of our cornerstone wines that we do. We do a lot of it. We do 600 or 800 cases of it a year. We almost always blend a little bit of the estate Merlot with it. And you'll understand that when we try the Merlot next. The Merlot adds structure and tannin and color and flavors, and it's just an amazing wine. So the cab gets a little bit of that, but the idea is most of these wines that I do, the Zin's 100%, the Merlot's 100%, Malbec's 100%, Chardonnay's 100%, is I don't want to dilute the value of a varietal. I make blends. Mare Nectaris is not 100%. If it says cab on the bottle or Merlot, it's gonna taste like cab. I hope. I'm trying.
I really am.
I try so hard.
Please buy my wine.
That's right. I rode here on a donkey tonight, so
Yes.
I need the help.
That's a long way from California to
I'm aware
Donkey.
of-
Yeah.
No one's more aware of that than me.
Great nose.
But this should taste varietal. Paso Robles cab over the long haul over the last 30 years has come so far to being this light fruity cherry bomb wine that people use as for bulk wine up in the Napa, California blends. It's a
Well, this
real
ain't that. This is not that.
no,
No.
but in the early days, that's where most of Paso Robles cab went,
Okay.
is up into Woodridge and all these other places. Now it's one of the grapes that Paso is kind of known for.
Right.
There's a lot of really excellent producers and some schlocks. I won't name any names since we're live on Facebook right now, but
No one's listening. Go right ahead.
that's right.
Oh, you thought people were going to listen to this.
So
Oh,
we,
you thought.
so we do small batch stuff that
Mhm.
tastes like the grape that I'm trying to produce. So this
That's
one
still a hefty. The 90% is still a hefty. What do you have to be to call yourself cab? Anyways, you have to be
75.
75.
Yeah.
So 90 is pretty hefty.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Merlot's just there, kind of like the oak is, just to kind of add a little accent and a little different flavors to it.
Now you're talking about a little bit more tannins. You got a little bit more structure going on.
Yeah, we're
a
gonna
little bit
get
longer
bigger
finish,
as we go down the list here.
longer finish. I
Yeah.
call this a Jennifer wine.
Right.
That's my wife. This is This
Okay.
is like she likes stuff like this. This is where this is her jam.
Okay, good. I thought we were getting dirty there.
No, we're not. Yeah. She's not listening to this. Trust me. You're doing what? No, I will be doing something else.
Anything else?
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this one?
Yeah.
Who's sort of a cab fan, anyways, right?
Yeah.
You guys mostly cab? You like cabs? Who likes cabs? Raise your hand. Don't be shy. All right. Who likes this one? Raise your hand. Don't be shy. All right. See, he's not a cab guy, and he likes this one.
Nice.
There we go.
I guess that's
Here's
a good
to
thing.
here's to you, sir. Thank you. You have a discerning palate.
Nice aromatics with this.
Yeah, it's really the nose on this
Beautiful.
is great.
Nice structure too.
Yeah, this cab was just a winner from being on the vines, in the fermenter, in the press, barrel aging it, barrel tasting it, as many of you are familiar with as well, and all the way into the bottle. And then it kind of went into a little bit of a closed bottle shocky thing for about 3 months.
Really?
So now it's starting to emerge from its shell, and this is going to be a tremendous bottle.
I know you're aging them for 30 months, right? So you're sort of you think you're going to be through most of that. But after you bottle them, how long do they sit at your place before they go out? Do you sort of like, as it's bottled, you want to make sure it's not bottle shocked before you send it out? I mean, transportation can cause that too.
Yep.
Right.
Sure can.
I mean, a lot of stuff that we bring in like something like for you. Heather gets it in here pretty quickly.
Yep.
But a lot of times we'll wait like a week or two before
Easy,
it
yeah.
hits the
Yep.
floor.
Yep.
Because it came so quickly. We are concerned. We want to make sure that there's no bottle shock because it's been roughhoused all the way here.
Absolutely. And that'll do it.
Do you wait a little bit and taste it before it goes out?
We absolutely do.
Yeah.
Usually a bottle shocky thing will end in 3 months, maybe 6. Sometimes it takes longer. There's no science behind it. There's no definitive test you can run
Right.
online. It just, you taste it.
Right.
So yeah, we try to wait as long as we can before we release a wine anyway. But if it's bottle shocky, we won't release it. I'd rather be out of it for a little bit before I
Right. So you get the added thing of when you're first bottling that it might have that problem. And then when you ship it, it can have that problem.
Yep.
It's less likely anymore when you ship it because you've waited at the winery to make sure it doesn't have it going out.
hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully. But you know, we usually will open a bottle when it first comes in and we'll be like, okay, let's wait a little bit on this. It's so weird because a bottle shock to me when you get it, it's so weird because all the flavors like are separate. Like when something's bottle shock, it's not integrated. And you can actually, as you're drinking, go like, oh, I can taste that. I can taste that. And it's almost like somebody diced up the wine and you're tasting all the different components.
Angular.
I like that. I'll use that. Wow. You are smart.
I have a couple.
Been doing this long enough, huh? Yeah.
30
Picked up a
years to
couple
learn
things on the
couple
way.
words.
But it's true. And it's not it's a weird, you know, hopefully most of you have never had that. But that is that's how it actually appears on your palate.
Yep.
And then you wait however long you go back and try it. And all of a sudden you go, oh, there it is. We're good.
Yep.
All right, let's go.
And some wines don't go through it at all.
Yep. And you can get them in. Oh, perfect. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's rock and roll. And so that is that too. So it's one of those type of things. I also noticed that we were looking, most of your wines are also stealth enclosures. How's that?
Indeed.
Which is a screw cap. Less likely of a corked bottle.
There's no possibility of a cork bottle with a screw cap closures, right?
And less likely of anything really going wrong with it.
Yes.
Like, what is it? Like something like stupid, like 0.5% of 1% or something like that.
Yeah. It's, we live in a modern world,
Right?
2024. There's absolutely no reason anyone should ever have a cork in their bottle to close it. The closures now, the screw cap closures are engineered to have the exact same air porosity as a cork. So if you see the two graphs, they go just the exact same way.
So you can age in it.
And you can age it.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be laid down to keep the cork wet, and you never have a cork bottle. A cork bottle happens, industry accepted, is 15% of the time.
That's insane.
That's a bottle a case.
A bottle a case, yeah.
So I still have our reserves under cork just because I don't know if the world is ready for an expensive
wine
bottle.
not having a cork.
Right.
Everybody
And
does
it's the
like it.
noise.
There is a allure of that pop.
I
right?
love the pop. I
Yep.
gotta tell you, I do too. So
for a little recording on the side that you press when you open it, or
Right.
something like that. You know.
yeah,
Yes, distinguished sir in the corner. What is the longevity of the cab?
we just had a 2011 cab that was still smoking. It was still ready to rock. So
Not on fire, sir. It was ready to drink.
yeah. So I mean, it'll age a long time. The Mare, which is our last wine, we just tasted a 20-year-old Mare this week, as a matter of fact, and it was amazing. Still, the wine.
Ray was talking about an old Merlot he had when he was at your place.
Yeah, we fought a bunch of wine back then.
Yeah.
Now that was I think I've told a few of you out there, this was incredible. So he brings out a bottle of 1999 Merlot. And I'm saying to myself, it's 2016, 17 years out. I'm saying to myself, well, here we go. And it turned out to be the best bottle of Merlot I ever had. It rivals some of the Bordeaux's I was drinking. I said, I couldn't believe it. It was absolutely stunning. So I can't wait to taste this one here. So that's why we're doing it number 4 here.
That's right. We are tasting
Good segue, Ray.
after
You
the
like that?
cab.
Yeah, I like
You
that.
like it?
Beautiful.
Okay.
I couldn't have planned that better. Thank you, Ray.
No, but when another pitch, when you guys come back to see me, I have pallets of old Bordeaux varietal wines that I've made over the years. And if you just get me just that little bit buzzed, I'll pop anything that you want.
We did.
What's that by 3 p.m, sir?
Damn easy.
Yeah, all right, good. You know you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning.
That's exactly right.
That's science. That's science right there.
That's exactly right.
What's that? He's ready by noontime. Okay.
I don't.
He knows
drink
you a little
that
too well.
much.
Yeah, I know, really. All right. Well, let's move on to the 4th wine, which is a 2020 Midnight Cellars Estate Merlot. Now, this one is 100% Merlot, aged 27 months in French oak, 25 new French oak.
Right.
Okay.
So this is again an estate wine. So it comes off. This is all off my home vineyard. All again hand picked, hand sorted. Um, we leave it on the skins. The Merlot, we get enough off the estate that we can do it in a tank. So we can do a little extended maceration on it. Anywhere from 30 to 45 days post firm. It's still laying on the skins, gathering flavor and tannins. 2018, we did 60 days, and well, we'll never do that again.
Lesson
It
learned.
becomes a tannin
Tannin
monster
bomb,
that, yeah, it's still not ready to drink. But
Got
yeah, this
longevity
is
on that one. Ray will be drinking that one in another
forever.
10 years,
In
right?
10 years.
Yeah.
It'll last forever. So the Merlot is what I think one of our better wines that we do, certainly off the estate. It's big, ripe, Paso style Merlot, big tannins, big acid, kick ass with any kind of a fatty food, a ribeye, something like that. It just sings with that.
What I like about your Merlot, and Merlot sometimes gets a bad rap because everybody's like, oh, it's flabby, it's not structured, it's this, it's that. This is very structured. This has great tannins, long finish.
Yep.
This will rival most Cabernets that I've seen out in that price point.
For sure it will.
You know, if I put this side by side, I think people would start picking this Merlot, who will tell you that they never drink. No, I don't like Merlot. I just, it's not my wine.
I get it a lot.
I don't.
Yeah.
And this is why it's important to get liquid to lips. This is why we do, like, we have the machines upstairs. You know,
Liquid to lips.
we do things so that you can try it before you buy it. This is why
Yep.
we do things in the store like this, because we want to change people's perception of what they think they like.
Right.
Right. Get everybody in. They're in that envelope and they don't want to leave it.
Right.
And you say,
what
but if you like this, try this.
What I've been saying for the last 20 years is Merlot is the new Merlot.
Yes.
Right. And you got to do the fist
Yeah.
bump.
Merlot. This is like Merlot on steroids.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the Merlot? This is a solid wine.
Absolutely.
Is indeed.
Yeah.
It's a
Mhm.
very solid wine. This is a great wine. I love this right here. I'll just let you know, we're going to go through prices and stuff, but this is under $20.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it says right here.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. I know. We're practically
did.
giving it away. You're not going to make any money on this deal, Rich.
I never did.
Deal with it, but they're going to be drinking your wine.
I gave
They'll
up making
salute
money
you
a
every
long
time they
ago.
drink it, right? Say yes. I'll salute you every time we drink this.
Thank you.
There's that tasting note again. Yummy. You know what this tastes like?
Yummy.
More.
More. Yeah.
More.
Right, Dad? Tastes like more? Tastes like
More.
more. Yeah. My father will be going home with at least one bottle of this tonight, if not more. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I know his palate too. He's going to be all over this one. Again, this is the whole point of trying this. You're sitting at, these are all from the same vineyard. These are all from the same winemaker. This is a depth and breadth of flavors that you're coasting out of all of these wines. This is the art of blending and knowing how to curate the wine, how to, how type of barrels you're going to put it in, how long you're going to put it in for. These are all things that add together to make all of these wines really great.
And consistency year to year is another thing that's really important in this business. You can't.
How do you do that though? I mean, weather patterns and everything, especially now, right? I don't know how
I wish I knew.
I wish I knew. Yeah. But that's going to be sort of, that's a challenge.
It's a challenge. You don't stay around for 30 years if you don't somehow manage to produce it.
Especially when you're doing 100%.
Especially when you're doing 100%, especially year to year.
Yeah.
Things change. Mother Nature throws curveballs every year. Something else happens, and you're just like, well, that's farming.
Yeah.
And
I don't think people get the farming aspect of the business as much as they should.
it's everything.
A lot of people,
everything.
a lot of winemakers come in here and they're like, well, I'm a winemaker. I do this and that. And very few come in here and go like, but some of the great ones, including you, come in and go like, I am not a winemaker. I am a farmer.
I'm more of a farmer.
Because I cannot do what I do without knowing the farming that I need to do to make this wine.
Know how to grow grapes is how
That's
you
right.
become a decent winemaker, is
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
good building blocks. You can't make, it's tough to make good wine out of crappy grapes.
Can't be done. Nobody can. So yeah, it's farming. This
Well,
is
if you
what
add
this is.
if you add bugs and stuff in it, sometimes I don't know.
Deer legs
Deer.
and poo.
So what's your secret ingredient? Poo. All right. Well, I'm going to move
I'm
on
just
from
tell-
your
I'm
wine
just telling
and
you
go to
that it
somebody
happens.
else. All right. So that's the Merlot.
This camera makes me look bald, by the way.
I hate to disappoint you. It's not the camera.
Look at that though.
Look at Ray and I.
Yeah,
Though.
look at us.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm the hairy one of the group.
Yeah, you look like an Adonis right now
Let me
with your hair compared to Ray and I.
Let's get my man bun up here.
Is that what you're doing? Stop it! It can't be from the hair. Can't be from your back, sir. It doesn't work
Well,
like that.
then never mind.
Then never mind. Moving on. All right. The 2000.
Oh, sorry.
True sucks. Right. 2009 Midnight Cellars Estate Zinfandel. By the way, when we went to high def, everybody went, "Holy crap! Do I look like that?"
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good. It's not good for anything.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we do a radio show. We have perfect faces for radio.
That's exactly right.
Right.
I'll give you that.
All right. There we go. Thank you. You're so kind. 2019 Midnight Cellars Estate Zinfandel. And this one here is 100%, 15% in new French oak and aged again 30 months.
Right.
That's what I'm getting from my notes.
Yep.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
Are the notes correct?
Almost all the reds,
Okay.
the mainstream reds, we do give 2.5, 3 years. Again, just for it just makes the wine better when you go into bottle with it.
I mean, like black pepper on the nose. It's
yeah.
it's just insane.
This is one of probably our most distinctive wine that we do. 100% Zin, all grown on the home place again. Big. I don't remember what the alcohol is, but it's a lot.
The alcohol, well, Zins usually tend to pop up there. This is 15.8.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Which means it's probably 16.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Your gastrometer is a little bit off, isn't it?
But this wine is grown on our state vineyard. It's a very acidic vineyard. So when you harvest grapes, you're looking for a balance between sugar and acids.
Yeah.
And this Zin just balances at a higher sugar. Once you get your pH over 3.3, which is basically the minimum you want to try to ferment something at, the sugar's at 29. And I don't manipulate these wines. I don't add all sorts of Franken stuff to it. We will
Is that
add
the technical term?
yeah,
Franken stuff?
Franken wine. And
yeah.
A lot of people add a lot of stuff. A lot of people do a lot of processing on their wines, and I don't. I tend to try to grow the grapes right.
Yep.
And then let the wines, just try not to screw them up at that point.
Don't get in the way of good. Don't let your ego get in the way of good wine.
Yeah, I got no ego.
Yeah, I know.
I learned that a long time ago. But this, I don't de-alc wines. I don't RO them to concentrate them. I don't add a bunch of garbage to them. I pick the grapes when they're ready, and I make them into wine.
Well, it's timing.
Right.
It's your timing, And do you find like when you go and you say like, okay, you start measuring the bricks, you start looking at the grapes and stuff like that. What amount of time you go like, oh my God, that's right? How long do you have to basically get the process under before it's wrong?
3 or 4 days. It
Yeah,
can be.
right.
I mean, it can be a week. I mean, if the
Right.
weather's cool, you can let them hang a little bit longer.
Right. But it's almost a
especially
decision you got to make like relatively quick. I mean, 3 or 4 days is not a lot of time to get everything else
if
ready.
the grapes taste right,
Yeah.
you scramble to get a crew out. And
Get it done.
nowadays, crews are very difficult to find. I've been around long enough, so people generally, my people I get labor from will take care of me, which I really appreciate. But yeah, it's important. When it's ready,
That's a huge thing right now.
yeah,
And a lot of wineries are having problems with that.
Yep.
Getting people out there to pick the grapes and people who know what they're doing.
Yep.
To pick the grapes. And you guys, there's not many people that, as many that do it by hand, what you're doing. Because they're using machines to get everything done.
Our home vineyard is too hilly to use machines on, so
Yeah.
it has to be done by hand. But again, I don't machine harvest anything that I
Right.
bring into the winery because it is like I'm not. I I make it sound funny, but it is really fucking gross. I mean,
Yeah.
as you see this stuff come in, it's just they just go through and rip everything up. There's rabbits in there, and it's not pretty. So we don't do that at our place.
We don't do that because the last thing you want is a hoppy wine.
Oh.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad.
I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
Nicely played.
Everybody try the veal. Make sure you tip your waitress. This is this may be my new favorite. I love
Zin's amazing.
The depth of flavor on this is insane.
And this, you can't overpower this wine with any kind of food. It'll take any of the highest spice you can throw at, acidity, fat. It does real well with food. And the one thing that I will warn everybody is that you just don't want to drink a whole bottle of this by yourself.
The ABV side of high.
There's a couple stories I'll tell you later, but I can't tell them right now because I'm sitting here bald on Facebook. This is crazy.
I'll let you know. It looks a lot better on when you look at it on your really small screen on your phone. You look a lot better.
Thank you. I'll take it.
It looks great live. I'll just switch you that. I'll put you that out there. But no, I mean, and again, here's another grape varietal that doesn't get its worth a lot.
Yep.
Zins, right?
Agreed.
You know, the Zin should be a lot more pot. This is like the same thing we talk in spirits a lot of times. It's rum's year. It's been rum's year for like 20 years,
right,
and it's not hit.
Right.
Zinfandel is one of those grape varietals that should have really hit hard, and it sort of cruises along. And the people who know.
Right.
But if you get a really good Zinfandel, you can blow almost anything else out of the water.
I agree. And the knock on it is that it's usually higher in alcohol.
Yep.
It doesn't matter of taste, but it doesn't necessarily age like a cab does. But when Paso Robles started, when we got to Paso, it was a Zin region. I mean, that's what was grown there, and that's what everyone planted, and that's what everyone made. And some of the great old wines coming out of Paso Robles was Zin. But
a lot
now,
of old vines
right,
in too, because those have been around a little bit longer in Paso Robles too,
since the early 1900s.
So,
but I love Zin. I'll always make it. Well, obviously I grow it, so I have to.
so don't have a choice really.
But yeah, I love Zin, and I'll always make one no matter what.
No, I think it's brilliant. I again, we got to get more people to try it.
Great,
especially yours.
That's why we're here.
Especially yours. So, what do you guys think of the Zin? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, are you any of you really who's a Zin drinker? All right. We got quite a few. We got quite a few in the crowd, which is great. That's converts. Let's call those converts.
Right on.
Right.
Yep.
They get it. You got it. All right. So, all right. We're going to do the last wine of the evening. And this is something very different. This is your reserve.
This is about as good as I can do. So if you don't like this,
really,
don't
we're
want
out.
to hear about it.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, that's right. Mic
right.
drop kind of a wine.
So what's this one?
So this is our Mare Nectaris.
Okay.
This is my take on a Bordeaux style blend. It always has all 5 of the Bordeaux blenders. Blend changes obviously each year.
So let me just go through this one because it'll be good. 47% Cabernet Sauvignon, 27% Merlot, 9% Petit Verdot, 9% Cab Franc, and 9% Malbec.
Yep.
Age 30 month and 50% new French oak.
Yeah, we throw a little bit extra on this just to make it a little more age worthy.
Well, if you're gonna really do a Bordeaux style, you sort of have to use a lot of French, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just tastes better. I'm not an anti-American oak guy, but what American oak will do for a wine is make it bigger, more structured tannins. French oak gives you that vanillin characteristic, much softer tannins that integrate faster into the wine. So it's just a matter of personal preference for me. I think these wines are big enough without having to throw a bunch of American oak at them.
Yeah, this is just such a thing as overdoing it.
Yep.
You know, and
what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean by that.
Have you heard the stories or something?
No, but like he's got a big mouth. He's told me. But we again we almost come back to the beginning of when we started the Chardonnay is that we are a society of extremes, right? We want bigger, better. In whiskey, I want more. If you like peat, how much peat can you possibly get in there, right? So we end up with like 100 parts per million of phenols in the whiskey.
Right.
If we talk about beer, we want to know how much hops we can get in, and it's overly bitter, right? You think you're better? Try some of these beers.
Yeah.
Get really bitter, and but we are into those things. We talk about malolactic and oakiness, over the top. So it's one of those type of things that everything has to be in balance when you're going for that. A cab using an American oak for this type of varietal. Hell, you're making a French varietal.
Right.
Use French oak, right? Why wouldn't you?
Couldn't agree more.
And it's not going to go over the top. So you're not going to get all these wood spice or weird vanillins that you can get from American oak.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not typical for what you're trying to produce.
It's like you're trying to cover something up. It's like someone who wears too much perfume.
Yeah.
You got something going that don't want people to see or hear or smell.
Mostly smell, I would
it's
say.
the same thing with a wine.
Yeah.
We're not trying to cover anything up. We're actually trying to let the wines express themselves.
That's your whole philosophy about all of these,
Right.
really.
Just let the wine do it. Grow the grapes right. Pick it when it's ready. And it's really not hard to make wine. Yes,
It's got a little bit of like almost like a eucalyptus on the nose.
Got a nice herbaceous
nose.
Definitely got a fruit characteristic, earth.
Little fruit characteristics, even a little bit of like leather in there
Yeah.
too. It's really nice. Yes, sir. Price per French oak barrel compared to an American oak barrel.
French oak barrel, a good French oak barrel costs about 1,300. And American will cost
That's
about
100 for the rest of you.
about half of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's much less expensive to buy American oak. But again, it's more of a stylistic thing. I don't use that much oak, so it's not a giant impact in my bottom line. I just think the wines taste better. At least these wines do.
Yeah.
This one tastes fantastic.
Right?
Good job. Good job. Good job. This is excellent.
This is year to year. This is my favorite wine to make. The blends, we take the blends very seriously. It'll take us a day or sometimes two to come up with like the perfect Mare.
Now this is 2019. So how do you see the longevity of this particular wine?
We just drank a 24-year-old one right before I came out here, and it was still it was awesome. Yeah, so this will age forever. Well, as long as I have left on this wonderful earth of ours. But why wait?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this definitely has it's got great structure. It's got great tannins. The tannins are balanced. It definitely right now you can tell that this wine will survive a longer period of time and get better.
I agree.
This has got enough going for it that this is going to get better over. This is the one we say, we haven't said this the entire thing. This is the one that will get better in 10 years.
Definitely. Demonstrably better.
Yeah.
That's
this
right.
lady
Yeah,
said
who
she
knows?
doesn't- Happy birthday. You don't have enough time left. No, but that's the type of thing you don't have, like when you're doing something like this, this is not Rich's bread and butter. These are the wines that pay the bills. These are the wines that you want people to enjoy. These are the wines that he's saying drink every night. This wine is something special.
I agree.
This is the wine that you're going to have on a special occasion. You can have it in your cellar and wait. You want to have this one because when you're having a burger on the grill, you don't necessarily want to open up this one. Okay. But you want to have this. But you could. Rich would prefer it and then buy another bottle. But you want to have something like this. And when Ray knows this, when we talk about people that go, well, I want to start a wine cellar and I want to have a big wine cellar, right? Okay.
All right.
Make it. Yep. I get some water. Smooth. The first thing that we tell them is have a case of red and a case of white that you could open up with pizza, fried clams, whatever you're thinking about, that you could just open up a bottle and not think twice about. Should be something you like, don't get me wrong. But a lot of people make the mistake of filling their wine cellar with a lot of high-end, really good wines that you're going to end up drinking too early or too often.
Excuse me.
You've been there, I know.
I'm getting all choked up thinking about it.
But that's how you do that, because this is a special wine. And if you can have a case of it and drink, like, when you want to drink it, and when you want to drink it, and don't worry about how long it's going to age, because it is only going to get better.
Correct.
So if you don't finish the last bottle for 5 years, that's okay. As a matter of fact, that last bottle, you're going to go, damn, I should have brought another case.
Right. That's right.
And left it for 5 years because it's just so good.
Yep.
Right?
Agreed.
What'd you guys think of this one?
Very good. Yeah.
That's not too shabby, right? We'll give it to New England. That's not bad. Because only in New England do you use a negative as a positive. That's not bad.
Go wicked pissa.
Wicked pissa. That's a double yum, sir.
That's my boy right there.
All right. So, is it okay if I say what we were talking about earlier today?
Absolutely.
Is it okay?
Bring it on.
So, Eric, Ray, and Rich and myself were talking about earlier about this is our 50th year, Julio's Liquors 50th year, and we've been doing special projects. Thank you. My father's here, who started the store. He's here tonight. Ron, want to stand up and give yourself a round of applause? So we've been doing a lot of stuff for our 50th. We have special beers coming out. We've had special whiskeys coming out. We just did more, which is based on that tasting note of a blended Scotch that we did, blended single malt that we did, and we have all different stuff coming out. And I go, I really want to do. I've talked to the guys and I said I really want to do a wine, and they're like, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, I want to talk to Rich, because I think that would be perfect to do for our 50th. I don't know if you guys all remember, we did one called Mooncraft a while back. It was really, really popular. You like that one? Good. We talked about doing for our 50th. Could we do something like that again? And foolishly, he said yes.
I'll do it. I'm in.
So Rich is in. So look for later on this year, a special wine coming from Midnight Cellars that will be a Julio's exclusive. So we'll be working on that in the next couple of months. So thank you. Thank you.
This business is supposed to be fun, so making fun blends and fun little special
When
stuff.
I stop having fun, I'm going to be retired like him.
Right.
And notice he's back. He's just drinking,
Right.
but he's back. All right. So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. You guys stay here. We got a couple little things to go over. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody on Facebook. Goodbye, all the people on Facebook. You can watch this. It's the Liquor Talking by Facebook. You really should have been here. It was awesome.